I have to be on Rumble because of freaking Nato Sumo.
Not though, yeah.
That's the only Nato Sumo and then Power Slap. Like Hayden in Dallas Sumo's on Power Slap.
Yeah.
So that's
everything else on there. I'm like, it's all crap.
I hear some wild stuff. I'll be like,
it's Lizard Illuminati.
I know. It's like Illuminati and the lizard people, and it's like.
Also, my favorite part of the SoCal Open was y'all talking. I didn't know that y'all didn't know it was like community.
And she's like, I forgot. I'm like, it's okay, don't worry.
It was some sort of award. It was just so great. Sabrina, you were like, no, it fell. It spilled.
Yeah, the coffee spilled all over the place, and I was just trying to adjust the table so it'd be at the right height, and like,
oh, it's okay. We cleaned it up.
It was
we got through it somehow.
Where we were with you the whole way, and stronger love. So we were here for it. We'll still talk about it.
I had no idea there was a hot mic until I looked at the comments. I'm like, oh no! Like, look, we're still embarrassed about it to this day.
Man, listen.
You offer all this shit that people say on hot mics. That was mild.
Yeah.
A whole lot of other shit.
At least we weren't like, the lizard people from the Hollow Earth told me that the Earth is flat or whatever. But yeah.
Or whatever if we were to start like arguing and like, calling each other like, it's like, whatever, dingus.
Put the plug in the fucking outlet, you butt munch, or some shit.
Yeah, we call each other really goofy names.
Okay, so it's maximum effort org. Is that a good word for it, or what?
Foundation.
Foundation.
Meth.
Okay.
The meth.
Meh.
The meth.
It is meth, isn't
It's
it?
meth.
Oh,
Meth.
Like
The kids like meth.
methamphetamine?
Meth.
Yes.
meth if you let me.
Meth diver.
Oh my gosh. So JJ's doing like he's like putting together some of our footage from Japan.
Oh, nice.
And I chew so enthusiastically. Like I'm like filming JJ here. Nah.
It's like when we first started doing the podcast, I became very aware of all of the little noises that my mouth makes, which I refer to as macaroni noises, because it sounds like, yep, they're the macaroni.
It's funny because so she'll sit there and she'll like it's super quiet. And I'm just kind of hanging out in the chair. She has the headphones on, doing the mixing. Out of nowhere, I'll just hear kind of a slam on the table. She's like, macaroni!
That sounds
Become
familiar.
like a curse word.
That sounds familiar. That's my life. I'm like, what is that sound? And it's just Christina.
Yeah. They fed us so many times on that plane. Who am I not to eat everything?
Right. Which, by the way, I was afraid to watch the interview that you guys did with us after the Consulates Cup.
I thought mine was great.
I was terrified because I was so drunk and I just thought that I couldn't have possibly sounded coherent or like made any sense whatsoever. I was positive that I was going to sound like an idiot, but actually it sounded really good. Christina, you are a fantastic interviewer. actually.
You're amazing.
And-
we need to do our podcast for real.
Yeah.
I think of like different names, like Sick Babes, whatever, like that.
Yes.
Like,
Oh my God.
all types of. And interviewing with you was so fun.
Aw.
I love meeting like other women and femme folks who have a critique of like the patriarchy,
Yeah.
being a disabled person and just being like funny as hell, like
All those delightful intersectionalities.
because people always are like, oh, you critique of patriarchy, and Sabrina, I'm sure you get this where you're like telling people, I think dudes are fine. It's just that y'all uphold, some of y'all get put in a position to uphold a toxic thing that isn't real.
Exactly.
And it's like your critique makes you like a bad guy. And then people are like, oh, you understand it so much, so you don't joke. You don't like, no, I'm a full motherfucking person. That's ratchet, radical, and I do what I want. Like,
people just don't understand the concept of like these systems of power. You know, they don't understand that it's not any individual person, it's like institutional. They don't know what that means, so they take it personally.
Yeah, like the whole status quo, it almost just kind of seems like they're just knee-jerk defending the status quo instead
They
of
don't
just
even
kind
know
of
what they're defending half the time.
exactly.
You know?
thank you.
But anyway,
From both of you guys' white sumo, of which everybody's white sumo, I learned something, especially since I have to like go through and audio is still my struggle on the streets, right? That's just going to be my thing for a while. But as I was there, I was like, okay, all right, so how do I clean that up? So I had to listen like to yours in particular like 10 times.
oh no.
Like, no, and it was dropping knowledge. And then I was like, well, what do I do? And I think yours might have been the first one where it's like, I'm gonna add in captions and see how that goes.
Were there
It just-
captions on mine?
Oh, on mine.
I know there
on
were
yours.
captions on
Yeah.
yours. Yeah,
Yours
I don't
was the
remember
first
captions
one
on
that
mine.
I started captions. I was like, yeah.
Those captions were awesome though. Like they were all dynamic and like flying in your
Yeah,
face and
I like
colors and
I remember whenever you told me when you were editing that you had like kids around, so you couldn't like have me like being like super, you know, like.
Oh, no.
So I did see like a couple of like of the bleeps, you know. So it was funny whenever like the bleeps would pop them, it was just all asterisks, and I was all like, oh no.
It took a second for me
it was hella kids.
to stop
like
the translation of like ashita every time it goes shita, so it would just beep. I'm like, damn, and then I have to go through and then try to finagle with it a little bit.
yeah.
'Cause it's like there's shit here. It's like it's Japanese. There's a lot of shit.
Exactly. Today we have with us the illustrious. What does illustrious mean? Is that a good adjective?
Yes.
We have the illustrious Christina Griffin Jones and JJ Jones from Honu Sumo in San Diego, California, for the third time on the Sumo Punx podcast. Welcome, you guys. I'm so glad you're here with us today. How you guys doing?
We're doing great. We recently got back from DMV.
Yeah, DC.
So DC.
DMV? God, that place gives me social anxiety so bad because,
What,
like,
you mean
you're
Delaware?
just packed in with a bunch of people and they're all staring at you and the fucking bright lights and stuff.
DC, Maryland, Virginia.
Oh. Oh. That makes sense. That makes
We
sense.
need to go to a San Diego DMV. We got nice ones out here.
Really? Because there are not nice ones here in Texas.
No, there's
We
6 months wait at every one of them.
Yeah.
We have one nice one that's right next to the border that nobody wants to go to. It's beautiful.
It's so nice.
Ooh, I will make sure once I finally get out there to hit up the DMV on your suggestion. It's going to be the pho place and then, maybe the beach and then Department of Motor Vehicles.
You don't even drive.
The reason to make
That
sure
frustrates the hell out of me.
An expired ID. They're like, we can't. We're from somewhere else. We can't help you with this. You're like, nah, help me.
But no, DMV,
DC.
Delaware,
DC.
DC, Maryland,
Virginia.
So
DMV.
it doesn't got anything to do with Delaware.
No, I
I'm
thought it was
sorry.
my Delaware keeps interrupting my brain for some reason.
Yeah, me too. So
DC.
District
Go to
of Columbia.
Yeah, I know one person that lives in Delaware, and that's it.
So basically, East Coast Club. The person who actually started it,
Romeo?
Romeo, yeah. You've been showing me some of Romeo's stuff on...
For months.
Yeah, for like months now. On Instagram and stuff.
Yeah, and he's freaking hilarious. I want to
That's
talk
what
to
I
that guy.
hear, yeah.
On Instagram, you gotta check it out.
No, I've seen it.
Did a Y sumo with him, and
Oh no.
he holds a mic. I'm like, oh man, I can't wait for all the podcasts to get you.
Oh, I know. I've been wanting to interview him for like a while, and then
Romeo, come on our show.
I saw Kaylin had done like a little kind of sound check or like little video test, with him.
I saw that too.
Yeah, where he's talking. Okay, what do you say is like, if any of you Nagoya Bashos think you could come down here, and I was just like, whatever. No, that was hilarious. I was like, no, just that quick little quip like that. I was like, no, that guy's got to be on the show.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. But what was your experience actually like being out there and getting to hang out with them?
It was super rad. He has a really great spot that he was connected through his judo club. It's called the Compound.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, the Compound.
And
it's in Maryland. Pretty dope. I was super impressed by the venue. When we got there, it was only a couple people. It was him and one of his students, Evo, but super knowledgeable. He lives on the Tom Zabel book, which is fantastic.
Yes.
So, which I think everyone can learn from, including myself, 100%. Because I'm like, I got a couple Kimarates that I know for sure, like the big ones, and then I know mine. But sometimes the little details. There's a lot of little details in there.
And him and Jay are both like judo cats. So seeing them talk about judo amongst us kind of non-judo people, it was like watching your mom talk to her best friend about you're like, Mom, who is Nadine and why is she a skank? Why? And they were talking about judo moves. And so we're just sitting there. It's it just was, you could see the love that Romeo has for judo and how he's using that in sumo. But it was so fun and funny watching Romeo and JJ just go back and forth. And it's like, yo, y'all really like judo, or you all really know about this? And they at one point start speaking just Japanese to each other, and I was like, all right, man. I love it. Mom, can I go to the car?
It's funny. They're just sitting there. It's like, well, you don't want to do an uchimata until you practice your ukemi, and you're like, wait, what?
I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty much identical to part of the conversation. That's exactly how it went.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, and Romeo's style of teaching the class is teacher learner at the same time. And yeah, it was just amazing. His the warm up. I don't know if it was warm in there, but I was warm. I was little beads of sweat.
I guess that's why they call it a warm up, huh?
The sweat was sweating, and I was like, whew. But nah, like super fun. Yeah, just amazing. If you're in the DMV area, you gotta hit up this class.
Yeah,
you got to.
And that's like a testament to it, right? He has a little bit of he has judo experience, and that judo experience brought him into sumo. He watches sumo, he understands like the sport as being a fan, and was like, I want to do that. And he just reached out to the federation on Instagram. Thank you, Kellyanne. Just reached out and was like, hey, she tried to connect him to a person that has, I think, DC Sumo, and I guess he's not active right now. So he was like, well, I'll just do my own thing. And that's where it went from there.
That's awesome.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you could put in a good word for us and let him know that Sumo Punx is on the lookout for him. We want him. We want to be the first. We want to be the first.
Well, they were the first.
You're going to have a blast.
You're going to have an absolute blast, y'all. It's going to be...
Wait, did you guys actually do an interview with him?
Yeah, they did a Y Sumo with him.
Oh, that's right. You mentioned that. Fuck. Okay. Well,
He's so fun.
But that's a different thing. Y Sumos are like, it's really getting to know the person, and they get to pitch their game and have fun, and it's a little different. It's not that sit down. It's a stand up.
This is a date. This is our third date, y'all. Okay.
Yeah.
Come on.
Like his style of running keiko, like how, generally you start like, with your stretches, your shiko, suriashi. Did he kind of run like more of like a traditional keiko, or was he doing more of like something more judo related, or?
It definitely was a traditional one.
The style that he follows a lot of the time is he takes a lot of inspiration from Justin, because Justin puts up his full keiko, like the full thing online. So he sees what he's doing, and he's like, okay, that's like a framework for what I can do. Right. And then he kind of goes from there. And Justin, if you guys haven't watched any of his live ones, you should really spend the time on a Sunday. I like to work on Sunday because that allows me to get off like 2 days. I like Friday, Saturday, so I get 1 day in the week, 1 day off, but Sundays I like to just watch Justin's classes, right? Just kind of be there. And it's like a bird's eye view kind of deal too. He sets it up like pretty high up so you can kind of see everything happening, and he really mixes it up.
So what you're saying is this new DMV club is actually sort of an honorary Texas club, right? Since it was spawned from the Texas method, so to speak.
I was going to say it's because
Justin is from California. Okay, let's just.
I'm confused with
I guess that's true.
We met him in California. I trained with him in California. We're from, it's a Takeshi.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's what I was gonna say is like the lineage, because like Dallas, like our keiko style comes from Justin as well, and so but all of that all comes from Yama and Takeshi, and so we're all a part of that lineage.
Yeah, really, it all started in California and has just spread across the country.
Yeah, that's my great grand senpai.
Yeah. But I did want to talk a bit about another thing that you guys have been working on for a while. Your foundation, the Maximum Effort. Would it be appropriate to call it a foundation?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Maximum Effort Foundation. So tell us a little more about that. What do you guys get up to with that?
So it was born out of, me and JJ's want to just to make sure that as many people who wanted to participate could, and like financial barriers weren't a thing. Our club, Honu Sumo, we don't play that shit about when we're like, yo, we want everybody to be able to participate. So we've always had that commitment to make sure that folks, from all genders, non-binary included, right, are able to participate and just feel at home. So this foundation was like a cool way for us to be able to like do both, right? Kind of be able to have like a mutual aid arm where we want to raise enough money for like kids and adults and teens, right? And the people who support them to be able to join them in competition. For me, that's like super personal because when I went to, I had JJ with me in Japan for the Sumo World Championship. But then when me and Kelly Ann went to the World Combat Games, it just was so like I lost the match to like my favorite baddie in the world from I forget where she's from Poland. No, she's not from Poland. I forget. I'll send it to y'all, but no, yeah, she's from Poland. Yeah, I think her name was Rita. I mess up, but she's so sweet, and every time I go against her, it's just like it's always just amazing, and I just like love women in sumo so much. But after it was like one of those things where it was like, oh man, if I would have done this, I definitely would have got it. And I got off the stage, and I didn't really have no one there to like kind of embrace me and kind of give me notes, and JJ is so special to me because like I think because I love him so much inside the dojo and outside of the dojo, and he was the one that like brought me into sumo, and it was just like just feeling mad like, oh, why isn't he here? And of course Kellyanne was there, but Kellyanne had to make history. Like we understood the assignment. So it was like feeling that way and really feeling like, you know what, like let's bring kind of this vision to life, and so that's
So obviously, like the federation can't figure out how to pick a coach. You'll like provide a coach. So being able to pay for transportation for a coach is huge. Also, we had juniors that weren't able to go because they didn't have money. We had juniors going without parents because they didn't have the money. Right. It all gets down to this money situation. And since the federation is basically has their own foot in their ass, it's our job to kind of bridge that gap, right? And it's not just about sumo, right? It's also about other activities. Like we want to make sure that if somebody wants to do junior lifeguarding in San Diego, that they have that opportunity. For me, it's like a big thing of when I was younger, I really was trying to push to get to the Olympics, and I was able to compete at I think it was the 08. It was either 08 or 06. There was a qualifier, but that was pretty simple. All you had to do was drive to where it was at and do it, kind of like sumo, right? But then the following season, they were like, all right, what we're going to do is you have to have E-level ranks and you have to go to different tournaments around the world to get these points. Now, if you're in a like community that can support you, like Helen's brother is in a really good community where he was able to fly out to different locations to get these points. I wasn't in that same situation. So instead, that was the end of my Olympic dreams. Right. And that's me in particular. I'm just one person. But if I'm one person, I'm sure there's others. Right.
Absolutely. That's something we were actually talking about recently. We just recorded an episode, the end of the year Amateur Sumo Awards episode with Grand Sumo Breakdown and Saki and Sumo, and Kyle Faraday was there too. And that's one thing that did come up is how, these financial barriers to entry are making everything's so unequal,
I I think like the purpose of the federation should be, to make sure that our athletes can go to, global competitions, and to make sure that, U.S., the sumo in the U.S. is on the map, that people know who we are and that we are, capable sumo tori.
And if they can't do it for us, then we can just do it ourselves, like it sounds like you guys are doing with the Maximum Effort Foundation. It's like, well, if not them, then let's have a different thing. Have you guys talked to...
Was it George Ferris?
Yeah, remember what they were talking about?
They were talking about George Ferris is trying to start like an association, kind of like a union for the sumo tori to kind of like have more collective bargaining power, like with the federation, so that, there could be more of people looking out for our own interests, outside of the federation, so that we better know how to approach them to, request the resources that we think should be available from them.
I think Marky Noss was mentioned in that conversation and a few other people. So definitely reach out to those guys. We can try to get you in touch. If need be. But I think the two together would be even more beneficial for everyone. So
yeah, but what you guys are doing, it's not just just restricted to sumo. It's other martial arts, and not even martial arts, but other activities. You guys had mentioned the junior lifeguards.
So here in San Diego, they have a junior lifeguarding program, and that program is, it's dope. So if you qualify for it, you can qualify, you can apply for a scholarship for the junior lifeguard program. But to qualify for it, you have to be able to swim a certain a certain speed, and you just don't hop in a pool being ready to swim those certain speeds. And thinking about when I was coming up as a swimmer, the neighborhood I lived in, our pool went from being open year round to only being open during the summertime. So when we would go against other parts of the city, more resource parts of the city, that their pool stayed open longer, we were, at a disadvantage if you didn't have access to another place to be able to swim, which meant transportation, which meant maybe you had a YMCA membership or something so that you were able to swim. It's just things like this, money shouldn't be the reason why you can't be great. And it shouldn't be the reason why someone else is a champ and another person isn't. I think of all the sumo folks, we are hardworking individuals, and shoot, Kellyanne is my hero, and she works so hard and she busts her butt. And I love that she's up there, because it's not only all the things she represents, but also a dope individual who's out here working hard inside the dojo and outside of the dojo. So just wanting that. Yeah. And we have that policy part too, where we want to really fight back against, just against stupid folks trying to make sure that everybody can't participate. A lot of people are uninformed about trans athletes, non-binary athletes. A lot of people don't know their rights as trans athletes and non-binary athletes, and also athletes with disabilities. I go out there with my pump, tied down and stuff, and I have to make sure I submit my therapeutic use exemption. If I didn't have the support of JJ, because having a chronic illness, you get depressed in it because you have it forever. You get tired of it, and having JJ be of support and being okay, Christina, this is the countdown, and having Kellyanne, this is the countdown to the competition. Have you submitted in your therapeutic use exemption? And having that support really is important. And again, it's because of the community I have, but I couldn't imagine if I didn't have that.
Yeah, and that is something important, especially for people who are new to not just sumo, but any other kind of sport as well, is knowing what your rights are within those activities and organizations that are associated with the activities and whatnot. So all of that is just fucking amazing. You guys are some of my favorite people, not just in the sumo scene, but in like
Just
anywhere.
You can say the universe. It's fine.
I have so much love for you guys and for what you do. I'm like almost in tears just hearing about like what you guys are building for the future for like all these people. So I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being like the awesome people that you are.
Thank you both.
So, like in my, perspective, I see, especially, since I've been watching, a few of these world tournaments, I see places like Norway and Poland, they have governmental infrastructure for their sumo.
Yeah.
And that like here I am, working like 40 to 50 hours a week and barely having time to train whenever these guys get to train, like, I don't know, however many, hours a week or days a week or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think, if we were to, and I'm sure that their governments probably help them travel, to get to these different competitions as well. But if you think about it,
they do.
They do. But think about this. In America, a lot of people have to crowdsource, their medical bills.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, "Oh, well, it looks like I got to get my tonsils removed. Can you guys share my GoFundMe?"
If it's not like the NFL or baseball or some shit like that, then they don't give a fuck. They really don't.
And so that sucks, that we have to kind of crowdsource our own freaking, medical bills, but then having to crowdsource, athletic
like
events.
all this other shit too, rent, fucking.
But through the principle of mutual aid, which is something that I hold dear to myself, that is a value that I very much identify with, because mutual aid has helped me, pull myself out of some really bad situations. And, on the other side, I've, used some of my paychecks to help other people, get out of those bad situations. And it's just, we can't depend on the infrastructure of any type of government or organization, it seems. So it's just imperative that we have to do it ourselves.
Yeah.
And that was one of the main tenets, of even our podcast, DIY, do it yourself.
DIY!
And that's one of the things that I loved about amateur sumo as well, is it very much has a DIY spirit, that we have to kind of do things for ourselves and with our friends and our peers, because
collectively
no one else is going to do them for us. So we have to make sumo, we have to make these things happen, for us, by the fucking people.
Yeah.
So that's I really fucking love that. And that just hearing that you guys have this foundation, it really has fired me up, because it's just like, yes, this is exactly the type of thing that we're about.
It's heartbreaking that you can work so hard and not make it. You can be the best in your state. You can be the best in your country and not make it. Like what? Because it's just, but it was something, me and Jay talked more and more about, our community, they came together, to make sure we were all set up in Japan, like sponsors and stuff like that. Like my mom's company, like said it was like, hey, we can't give y'all a lot of money, but we'll give you cell phones with international data. So y'all can call anywhere. Like, y'all can call where you're out of town. And me and JJ were like, yo, we're gonna bust our butt this year so that we can live lavish and go to the Nintendo store for Christina.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I have a little Nintendo purse that I don't wear anywhere, but it's fine.
That kind of makes me want to talk to the people here in Texas, and see if maybe we can get something started to kind of support the Texas people, because it was kind of sad, especially for some of the youth competitors, seeing, their efforts to like kind of raise money for this big trip, because they had qualified for the world championships and then ultimately not being able to go, or like Zeus, who had to go by herself at the age of 14, 15, however old she is. But, there were parents of other competitors who kind of took over like a guardian sort of role and made sure that she was taken care of. So
it was Kaylin. Kaylin watched out for her.
And Christina.
Oh, you watched out for her? Okay.
Zeus is amazing. Zeus is my hero.
Yeah.
He's just future. And Zeus is just such a just a beautiful, smart soul. But yeah, like if Zeus wanted to bring somebody, right? Like Zeus having that option, and I hope too, like with the next folks coming and qualifying, that all of us as folks in the amateur scene, that if we can give, we try to give in some sort of centralized way to be able to support those folks, or create an Instagram with all their ways to give. And us as Maximum Effort Foundation, like we're in the process of applying for things and stuff like that. And shoot, what we want to make sure that we're putting our money where our mission is, and we're making that happen.
Hell yeah.
Big thing that that I'm trying to do, and this is, it's not quite sumo related, but it's sumo adjacent, is we want to be able to give by year memberships for gyms, for the right, and that comes with like a commitment, right? So they if you've ever done any high school sports or anything along those lines, they have you sign like a contract per se. It's not a real contract, but it's like a little thing, and it's like, oh, I will be here when I'm supposed to, blah blah blah, and it'll be like whatever the standard, and hold up a GPA or whatever the framework looks like for the individual. It won't be a blanket one. It'll be like a career path for them.
Nice.
Like what make them a better citizenship on their end, because everybody has their own journey.
Yeah.
A couple students that I'm kind of eyeballing, and I already figured out the actual number, and they're not at my gym, so I'm gonna have to buy their membership for a different jiu-jitsu gym, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
And they'll always be like coming up with that whole connection to mutual aid, like, yo, this is how my community helped me, and now I know that like that's how I need to show up in this world. So I'm here for that. We're definitely here for that.
Hell yeah. And I wanted to know a little bit more about, the scene there in Southern California and like the changes that have been going on. But first, I wanted to specifically talk about your experience with the World Sumo Championships and the combat games, because we talked to Kellyanne, we talked to Itan, but we never got a chance to talk to you. So, what was it like out there? Like, what would you say were your best bouts? What would you say were your worst bouts? Like, what was the whole vibe?
Oh my gosh, the vibe. Oh my God. First of all, Tokyo is a fucking vibe.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave. We were in this beautiful neighborhood called Ikebukuro, and I just made a song out of it. Because when we would get off our train, Ikebukuro station. Ikebukuro. It was so amazing. I didn't know I needed that. I just living my best little life. And, so when we got to where I didn't even expect to get like emotional. It just was, oh man, at the world. At the World Games, JJ, I'm so sorry. I'm just, okay. It was just so amazing. I'm just gonna
take your time,
like be just like in my life forever, like just something you could just never imagine yourself doing. And then just be around, have someone who loves me the most in the world there with me and supporting me and in my corner. It just was, it was amazing. So like, of course, the best match was the one I won. Like, Thailand, I love you, but you got your ass beat. I love you, sis. It felt so great, like not being as scared as I was during World Games when we were in Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the second time kind of being on like a world stage situation, and just feeling, I had spent so much time in the gym making sure that because like I had to cut weight because I had learned that I was going to be able to come. So I was in the gym a lot, and then like, you know, spending all that time in the gym, and then boom, it's competition day. So the match against Thailand, that made me feel really good. I like fell off the dohyo, so like my arm was all scratched up. So I had like this little battle scar and stuff, and then but I think so Thailand was dope, but I have to say, like, my favorite match was it was a match I lost against Japan. I mean, when I headbutted baby girl, oh, a gift. I said, oh my God. I was like, oh yes. Our heads kissed. Our heads kissed, and I'm pregnant now. That's how it happens, kids. All right. Stay a virgin. No kissing. Use protection, kids. But like that was my favorite. And then also, you know, being able to be a part of like the team that was like, you know, Kellyanne, Eton, Madison, JJ, and Brenda, you know, and like Brenda and JJ being there to like encourage us, like talk about best partners ever, you know, like being there to encourage us, get all of our minds right and stuff like that. And my love for community, like I love so much that like my first medal on the world stage was like in a communal way.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, that was, and then afterwards, like being able to eat so much good food. There was like we had a world sumo championship arm wrestling championship.
Yes. I have heard of this.
Like,
legendary.
Like I gotta work on my arms because they're weak. I blame my insulin. It's insulin's fault. Yeah, it's my insulin's fault. Always.
Interesting.
Always my shortcomings. Blame insulin. It's the diabetes fault. But no, like that. Yeah, that was it. And like I guess the third best part, really being there just to witness Kellyanne make history. Kelly, man, and that was the best part of both of them. Like seeing the way that Kellyanne like lives her life. She visits all the schools. She visits all the sumo clubs. She trains there. She teaches. She learns, and has so much like love and respect for sumo. And then like she tries to go to so many competitions and everything. And yeah, just an amazing individual. And she like showed the world like constantly. And yeah, it just was. It was a blur, but it was great. It was
hell yeah.
I'm gonna think of other best parts, but that was like the best part.
We were talking to Kellyanne and to Eton, and we were teasing them about like how like they need their faces on the Wheaties box.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're totally gonna Photoshop each of y'all.
We're gonna get you a Wheaties box too.
Oh yeah. And that picture, which at times I was like, oh come on, cutie.
Inside Japan's?
Inside Japan's.
The one where that's like super adorable.
Yeah.
And then Eton's Notawa picture though, that one's like
yeah, it was so dope. And then Saudi Arabia was a little
I heard. Yeah.
The gym situation. Like the ladies' gym was like had like mismatched weights and like 2 machines, and then hearing about the men's gym being like flavored water, jacuzzi, a pool, a sauna.
Damn.
The fuck?
I was like,
damn.
I didn't feel nice. I don't like it.
It's like you expect it, but also
I know,
like the disrespect.
Expected, but yeah. It was really dope seeing like Venezuela like kick ass. The Venezuelan team, so amazing. And it's always dope seeing Brazil. Those are like our Brazil.
Was Brazil in Japan. Half the audience. It was Brazil, Japan, the rest of the countries.
Yeah.
So we're with the rest of the countries. Japan was like just like hard, and they had like their own like little chants that they were doing. That was dope. You had Aoyama hanging out with Bulgaria in the Japan section.
I saw that.
Chilling. And then Brazil, just the full Brazilian flag the whole time. And those people could chant. Those people know how to sport.
Yeah, yeah.
We heard him.
Yeah, I love anytime that like Rui would get up there, they'd start going, hoo, 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 hoo.
Yeah, and then in like Saudi Arabia was the same vibe. We saw Brazil, like, what's up, Brazil? We're just like, those are our cousins, those are our family. Like, we're just, it was, man, it just amazing. And I think just being so grateful again, like who gets to do this in their life?
Yeah,
you know, and
not a lot of people.
And then, like, you know, like women in sumo, like we do this like into our like 50s. Like, I'm like, let's go. Oh, I have a little baby real quick. Come back.
Yeah, why not?
The NHK documentary that just released.
The Women of Sumo?
Yeah.
Ooh.
With Irie Hisano and...
Yeah, and then the one that Christina headbutted.
Oh, yeah!
It's pretty good.
Is she the one that's in the band?
Yeah, she's the one that's in the band that's in the universe.
Oh, she's the one you headbutt? That's awesome!
It's a pretty dope documentary. And I'm like, I see you guys. I see what you're doing. Just wait. I'm gonna level up. I'm gonna have my own little documentary coming out soon.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
What's up?
No, I did like that documentary. I keep trying to get Sabrina to watch it, but she's like, I'm so busy. I have everything to do. I'm like, no, just sit down and watch it.
Sabrina, basically, our lives are the same. JJ has all these documentaries lined up. Years of documentaries.
I have a list of documentaries that I've been meaning to watch too.
And the ones that I want you to watch.
Sabrina, we're busy. We need naps. We need medication.
Exactly.
And the medication makes us sleepy. So there's that.
Exactly. Yes. Oh my goodness.
See, she knows your struggle.
She does. Kindred spirits. But
that was y'all interview, but what about you guys? Like, what kind of was like your favorite part of like Japan and like Saudi Arabia?
All right. I would have to say the juniors.
Yes.
Because seeing like, Ben, little Ben get up there, I was like, wow, I know that kid.
Yeah.
it was awesome.
And Zeus, like.
Oh, hell yeah. Seeing Zeus get up there, I was like, yo. And then, what was that kid from Brazil? PC? Oh, man, it was funny because
that dude that looks like a goddamn Terminator.
Ass man. When you look him in the face, he's got a little kid face.
It's a little kid face.
But it's just
he looks like a real life action figure, and then he's just like got this like little kid face.
And you look at his eyes, you're like, oh yeah, you're not old enough to drink.
Was it Jared Tadlock?
Like
go ahead.
The size of any lightweight, middleweight that I've seen. Like I looked at him compared to Jordan because that's like the same weight. I'm like, no, he's like chiseled, like edible, but fluffed up. All filled in. I'm like, dang, this is scary. The world's gonna have to watch out next year.
I know,
right?
No, it was funny. Jared Tadlock was saying that PC looks like he's like, oh man, that junior looks like he's already got 2 kids and a mortgage.
Yeah,
because he's all. But no, like it was really cool seeing the juniors and then seeing everybody from the USA on like when the adults went on. That's what I was there for. That's what I wanted to see. And whenever Ask Sabrina, anytime anybody that I knew got up there, I was like, oh my god, I know
it's true. There was a lot of screaming at the TV for sure.
And for the most part, we were sitting down, but there were times when we were just standing for like and that whole thing was what was it 10 hours?
It was pretty long, yeah.
Yes.
I still remember what snacks I was eating. Like, I had the Funyun flavored Ruffles potato chips, you know.
Yeah.
And just sitting there in the chair the whole time. I couldn't take my eyes off of it.
It was 4 a.m. Texas time.
Yeah.
Before things started to wrap up after the teams section.
Yeah.
And it had started at was it 9 in the morning that day? Something like that.
Something.
Yeah, it went on for a long time, but it was so freaking cool. And it was a long haul tournament. It was one that we were prepared to stay glued to the TV for.
Yes.
And we did. We watched the whole thing both days.
I love the women's competition. I loved seeing people competing from countries that I'm not as familiar with. You know, Italy. I was surprised to see Italy there.
Twins.
Twins?
Yeah, they were twins.
Were there
So
twins?
Yeah, so in Italy, they had one was a lightweight, one was a middleweight. Joe went against the lightweight one.
Oh wow!
Yeah, they're twins.
I had no idea. Holy
One
shit!
works out more than the other.
Yeah,
I'd be the
super
most
cool.
active twin.
And then with the World Combat Games, because we recorded sections of the World Sumo Championships, and then I saw that it actually stayed up. Nobody messed with the stream or anything because I had a feeling there was something was going to happen. It was the World Combat Games. Sony Music Entertainment got the World Combat Games taken down, and what sucks
We should
about
have
it
recorded that.
is we should have just recorded it the second that we had the opportunity, but
We could
instead
put it on Rumble.
I know, but I was like, you know what? I'm just going to let this chill. I was like, the link is probably going to be there here in a bit. I'm going to go about my day. I'll come back and I'll download this later. I come back and it's gone.
Yeah.
The World Combat Games was gone. And if
We
you
could
try
have
to
just put our own music over it and
know.
posted it back on YouTube.
So all the stuff that I managed to get, I just managed to get Kellyanne's bouts from the first day. The second day is whenever I think that was the full blown open weight everybody against everybody thing. At least that's what I thought it was. But I got to see one of Eros's bouts and I got to see oh god.
And we haven't seen her around much lately, so I was happy to see her at the combat game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good to see her. We were just it was yeah. Yeah, she's just so
But-
good.
But all the lights and all the music, it sucks that it got copyright struck, but it looked like just a spectacle. The World Sumo Championships it seemed like a sporting event, but the World Combat Games seemed like near WWE proportions.
Yeah.
There was a lot of
Same weekend they had that Tyson Fury fight, I think.
oh, was
Oh
it?
shit!
Damn.
Yeah, they're
Damn.
spending a lot of money. That part of Saudi Arabia is spending a lot of money in sports.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
They bought PGA, the golf league, and they have their own baseball league and a few other things. They're doing a whole lot of stuff. They're spending money. So this isn't going to be the first and last time we're going to see sumo or that World Combat Games go to Saudi Arabia. If I have a feeling, in 4 years they'll probably buy the bid again and it'll be out there.
Yeah, I was actually listening to a podcast recently that was talking about countries like Saudi Arabia and how they use the various sports and the attraction that people have to that to kind of give themselves a better image and stuff.
Yeah.
There was a lot of political stuff in it. Yeah.
Because they have some issues that they don't want to address, so
Yeah.
they'll just make spectacles, and people are going to be like, "Oh, hey,
Yeah,
let's-"
which you can say the same thing about the U.S. too, but
Oh, we can say that about it."
yeah, but
Bread and circus.
excuse me, yeah, bread and circuses for sure. But speaking of spectacles, it's almost that time for another competition to start, the SoCal Sumo Open.
Yeah.
That's going to be in February. What's the date for that again?
February 24th.
2024. Yeah.
2/24/24.
Yeah.
We have people from Dallas already.
Of course.
So
Yeah.
we have that. We have people from Dark Circle. So Texas showed
Nice.
up first, and I was really excited about that. We have
Nice.
Rain City. George Ferris is coming out, and he's bringing a crew with him. We have our LA people, our San Diego people, of course. I think, Jared from Vegas is coming out, so that's going to be pretty cool. We
Nice.
have people from all around the country already coming through. Hopefully, if we might be able to get Minkin out for this one.
Ooh.
So he's going to have to do a whole lot of jobs to justify flying him out to America. But it might happen. It might happen.
We're crossing our
We're
fingers.
crossing our
We're crossing our fingers and we're
talking
selling
about,
some
like,
drugs.
Japanese commentary, and a few other things. Like, we're gonna have to like really pimp them out.
Oh, that would be dope as fuck if you guys had Japanese commentary for it. Dude.
Oh, hell
my
yeah.
God.
So regardless, he's going to probably do that remotely. So regardless, that's our but it's, we're looking, maybe we'll have Sumo Punx. I don't know.
I love it. But also, because capitalism be capitalizing.
That's right.
It
All
does
right.
that.
If y'all can't make it, we're still gonna unmute your mics super early. I'm gonna purposely have some coffee delivered. I'm gonna instruct them to spill the coffee. They're gonna get extra tip. And I'm gonna unmute your mic. And then the whole thing is gonna play out. We're gonna be like,
I think I'm gonna have tea that day. I'm gonna get a Red Bull instead.
But yeah, no, it's always just like in any SoCal Open in the future, like it's always y'all. So just maybe put us on the calendar forever, and until
That'd be February.
until y'all are able to come out here in person, it'd be dope if you could. But if you can't, we're gonna figure it out remotely.
Our transmission's going out in our van. I mean, we got bills.
That's okay. They're taken care of. And
It's the last one. We've been talking about wanting to go out to San Diego for the next one, and then just within the past few months, we've been like, oh fuck.
Yeah, like right after we moved, it was like October, and we're like, shit.
Yeah. So, but eventually we will make it out there. But we would be honored to host the live stream for the second annual
set it up.
SoCal Sumo Open, and
We have it at, a new venue this year. It's going to be at the Performance Annex in City Heights.
Yeah.
Which is like, it's a little difficult to explain, but it's like a stage with stadium seating inside, like 4 layers, maybe about 40 seats. But then it opens up into a courtyard. And in the courtyard, that's where we're going to set up like vendors and make it kind of like a full community event. Because it's not, we're not charging any spectators to watch. We want people to show up and just have fun and accidentally get addicted to sumo.
Heck yeah.
Yes, that's the way to do it. So that's really fucking cool. So it's going to be outdoors then, or
It's indoor, outdoor. It's like it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both.
Because the stage is covered.
Okay,
good.
I got you.
In a building, and it has a giant door that opens up into like an outside area.
Okay, good. Because I remember living in California, and I know in the wintertime it likes to rain a lot there. So not only that, but when we were doing the live stream for the Texas Classic, the glare from the sun got so bad that it actually decreased the quality of our camera, so now we have to get a new camera.
Yeah, it did
like
something
having the
to it.
sun on it so bad. And then Matt had to hop on the mic and do commentary while I was trying to shade the sun because you couldn't see half the dohyo, and just the sun is not good for sumo. it's good that you guys are gonna have some shade.
All the equipment will be indoors, so that's all going to be pretty solid. We're technically in the San Diego library, So we should be able to like piggyback off of their hard internet access.
Nice.
And that cabling up. I'm like,
Yes.
and I'm going to get
hardwired.
I'm only going to have that one job.
JJ with Ethernet cable. Click.
Look at that cable guy.
Oh, that is beautiful. Hardwired internet. Yeah, why Wi-Fi? Who cares about reception?
Yeah,
I have a wire.
Wi-Fi.
Right. I
Going.
want a fanny pack with an Ethernet cord in it.
I know, right?
Now I didn't even know we were sucking up internet like that, because each camera angle had a computer it was connected to, and that computer was like sucking the internet. I was like, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And you know, when you're like growing an event, you have like ideas, and then I bought like a camera switcher because I was like, I'm gonna do multiple cameras, zoom in on people, blah blah blah, and everything was kind of set in my eyes. And then Christina was like, no, we're gonna do multiple cameras with multiple computers. I was like, I don't think this is gonna work right. Why did I buy a switcher? So
no.
we're gonna do like,
You trusted me.
you're gonna see Keiko's like ahead of time. You're like, oh, this is really high production Keiko. Yeah, it's just JJ working and testing.
Hell yeah.
I see Siggy doing it on the Dallas streams.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Every Dallas stream is like, I'm practicing a little bit every day, just a little better, a little better.
Yeah.
Got to figure out who's going to write the book of United States Sumo and technology. Who is going to write this book? And on the cover is going to be like Justin.
It's gonna be Justin, Corey,
Siggy, JJ. It's got to be y'all on there.
Jake from Grand Sumo Breakdown.
Being a bit to see a cables.
Yeah. That's gonna be the cover, like those textbooks from high school that always had like the weird covers. It's just gonna be some shit like that.
It'll be somebody in jeans.
And the fanny pack. Don't forget the fanny pack.
Yeah, want to be the neck cord.
Somebody get on Mid Journey and like
Oh, God.
AI that shit up. Oh, but you had mentioned Rain City. Someone from Rain City, or a few people had signed up already. Was one of those people Pharaoh? Pharaoh, because he came to the
Pharaoh
Texas
Taylor.
Classic, and we got to hang out with him a bit. It was his first sumo tournament. He's only been doing it for like 2 months, and he actually kicked a lot of ass.
He kicked a lot of ass. He's been he does wrestling and boxing.
Yeah, so Pharaoh, if you're listening to this and you haven't signed up for SoCal yet, you better get your ass on down there and compete in that competition.
Do it. Go on the internet and sign up. We're looking on our little list now.
Oh,
No
hell
Pharaoh
yeah.
yet.
No Pharaoh yet. All right.
Pharaoh, you heard me.
So
Mika, get on his ass.
As the directors of this tournament, we would like to invite you to the SoCal Open.
Please come.
They're very nice, Pharaoh. I guarantee you will like them as much as we do.
oh yeah. Yeah, Pharaoh had that. We were like the oldest people like at the party, and Pharaoh was like what 18.
Yeah.
And so like I felt like we were his cool aunt and uncle for the weekend.
Yeah. I felt like we were his weird aunt and uncle. Like
Yeah.
I was the vodka aunt, and you were the.
I was the sober one.
Yeah.
I'm also working to get some recovery stations set up.
Oh, cool.
And so of course everybody and their mom is doing like the what is it called, cryotherapy. So I've reached out to a cryotherapy infrared station, so that we might have that set up there too.
Oh, wow.
But in particular, there's this new therapy called PMEF, maybe. But they do like a shock wave that goes through your scar tissue.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah. So I've been using it recently for like some therapy, and The guys reached out to his corporate. This is Christina's just now finding out about this.
I love
reached
it.
out to his corporate sponsor, and they're going to set up a person to treat our athletes. And this is
That's
only
amazing.
for the athletes, so it's set up for the athletes. They'll maybe do like a little interview or whatever, talking about how they feel or whatever. But to have something like this and to be able to like compete is going to be pretty rad.
Hell
This
yeah.
is-
Wow. That is really cool.
Like living in the future.
Yeah, because that's one thing that I've been thinking about a lot lately is like the toll that it takes on your body, and trying to find ways to really put some more emphasis on like aftercare and stuff like that, and like even like pre-care. I don't know the correct terms for this shit, but making sure that your body and your muscles and stuff are like ready for this intense thing that you're gonna do, and then afterwards, after you've done the intense thing, helping them to recover. That is really cool. Especially like the temperature thing. That was something I just learned about recently that I'm really interested in, and I kind of want to try that out myself.
The cryotherapy.
Yeah, that looks pretty cool.
You could take an old-fashioned ice bath.
I could.
But why, Sabrina? Why? No. You cry off.
That was the fancy technological stuff.
Looking.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm afraid of ice baths.
Be like those Norwegians who like hang out in the sauna and then jump immediately into a frozen lake, Or is that Norway or is it?
No, they do that in
Finland, or-
Yeah, they do it in Finland. They all have like their own culture of doing that.
Yeah.
Like, I think the further in east in Europe, they start like beating themselves on the back with like these branches to open up their skin.
Yeah.
And then they'll go run outside after they're all sweaty and then just like jump in the frozen
Yeah,
lake.
you guys are gonna have that at your tournament though, right?
No naked frozen lake jumping.
No naked whipping stuff.
Leave those branches out of this.
Yeah, leave those branches out.
What other sorts of things can people expect at the SoCal Open?
Food trucks.
Oh, nice.
We love a food truck.
Feelers out there with food trucks. So if you're listening to this now and you're a food truck in San Diego, come through.
Yeah.
We're also like, all of our booths are going to be free. So we really we're encouraging, folks to like hit us up if you, if you want to give yourself a chance and you have a good reputation, like
There's no vendor fee, basically.
None.
no vendor fee.
Oh, nice.
We don't want folks to just like show up. Like if you show up, we're gonna be like, fuck you, go somewhere else.
There
like,
is
please
there's a
fill out
form,
a form.
there's commitment, and
Yeah.
You
There's
can
a-
only
there's-
take so many people, I'm sure.
Yeah. So folks can the person I go to for like my skin stuff, she's supposed to come out. We're also gonna have community organizations like Maximum Effort Foundation is fiscally sponsored by March for Black Women San Diego. So
Yes.
so they're going to be out there sharing info with folks about how they can show up for migrants and Black women at the grassroots. And we'll have
music performances.
mhm.
So
Hell yeah.
we have one confirmed, and I'm really excited about saying it, is the Brothers Burns. They're going to go out and do a rapping thing. It's going to be fairly clean language because we're out in the community. I don't want to
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christian values, right? Or whatever, right? Oh, profanity hurts my soul. I'm going to hell. whatever, however it goes, right? But so we're going to have some music. We're trying to figure out other artists and stuff along those lines, but we're going to have maybe I have one person that's super, super close that does limericks.
Oh, nice.
Super excited about. I'm a limerick fan, so I really am trying to get them out. And they even promised to do a haiku, possibly.
Ooh, nice.
We have a few wrestling clubs coming out who are trying to raise some funds and stuff for their clubs because they go to high schools that invest a lot in like football and basketball, but don't invest in non-basketball or football stuff.
Well,
So,
in particular, it's the ladies wrestling of Lincoln High School. One of our competitors that will be out competing, Nancy Cordache. She is the head coach for the women's wrestling there, and they're underfunded. And we're trying to do a win-win for them, right? So some of them are going to be competing. They're obviously going to be comped. But then we're going to also have like a fundraiser for them. And they're going to sell
Nice.
snacks and that kind of stuff. So everything will help those children be or teens get to like CIF and things along those lines.
Hell yeah.
Nice. Yeah, no, I know women's sports in general aren't very supported either, so that's really awesome that you guys are doing that too.
Especially after was it chapter 22? Was it?
oh, sheesh.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
So that was a real complicated one where they had to even out the sports, but then for them to even out football, which has a lot of people, a lot of roster, they basically just got rid of programs with women in it.
Yeah,
Which it's dumb. It's dumb.
yeah. Fuck that shit.
I know I always hated, growing up that like football in particular had been like monopolizing
Yes.
all of the school's money. And there's so much more fun, or there's so many other like cool programs, stuff that I really would have like loved to do whenever I was in high school if it just had more funding, but nope, football. Yeah. I'm still mad at football, damn it. When I was in my high school punk rock band, we were called the Snot Rockets. We had like several songs on how we just, hated the football, which is really funny because they all grew, those guys, the drummer and the guitar player became huge football fans after high school.
But it's like, me and Jay, we talk about this, like when our like communities, especially like lower income, like not, non-white communities, like that's like that's the thing you get kind of put into, like, okay, football, basketball, you're going to go to a Division I school and then you're going to make it to the pros. Or as you get older and learn about things like math, you're like, bro, everybody's not going to make it. And we're putting all of our resources and all of our futures into this thing that's like not a lot of folks make it. And not even like you're not good enough, but a lot of good folks don't make it just because of like the nature of it. And just being like, yo, what would a world look like where you're able to be Black and athletic and like other things?
Yeah.
You should listen to Warren Sapp talk about The Rock. He's like, oh, little Dewey. I'm like, oh, that guy he was like terrible, apparently.
Really?
Yeah, but obviously in other things he can excel.
Yeah.
Right? But in football, it's like it's so cutthroat, and it's the 1% of the 1% of the 1% athleticism,
Yeah. And what does that do to people's confidence and self-worth? And like kind of connected to the just so many things. We're gonna be on this phone for hours, y'all.
It's okay.
Like closing the restaurant, and we're still on our date.
I know what you're saying, but I know that inclusivity is also a big part of what you guys do, and that is going to be a big part of the SoCal Open as well. There was a little bit of an issue last year with, a certain division that you wanted to have for some of the competitors, something for all adults, specifically to be more gender inclusive, that just wasn't able to happen, at least on camera, because of some of the higher ups in the federation making a big stink about it. Is that something that you guys are going to want to try to do this year? Or
I don't think we have the need this year, right?
Okay.
I think we would at this point, because Corey really stepped up and bit that bullet.
Yeah.
Like now there is no fear of doing that, right? So thank you, Corey. But as of right now, we don't have the need to do that particular division because everybody can or will fall within the Olympic standards of genders and such.
And
Right.
then like if folks, if there is an interest for that, like we're down for folks approaching us and us making it happen because we're prioritizing athletes feeling seen and feeling comfortable participating. And so that's our priority, and we're open.
Awesome.
Hell yeah. For a second there, we were getting like really into like, starting to dissect, like school funding and like prioritizing. I was getting mad. And I was like, okay, I just got to chill.
But like same, like
that's a podcast in itself.
I know, right?
like y'all, like for like me and JJ, especially with like the foundation, like we have all these ideas to be able to like bring, and like this tournament too is like a gift to our kids' selves. And we're like having it in a neighborhood where we grew up, so it's gonna be like
awesome.
Kids on bikes and on scooters, and we hope that like one of those kids pass and like get freaking bewitched.
Yes.
Like, what is this? And they have their phones and they can go into and to be able to go online and be able to see these competition with the pros, and then to know like down the street is a place where they can go. They can go every week. It's like, this tournament. It's a gift. It's a gift to the past and present and future Japanese communities, right? Because like the day it's going to be done is like a day of remembrance of the Japanese internment camps. Here in San Diego, for Japanese community members, they got the orders to like go turn yourself in to be incarcerated, and for us, like I can always count on JJ to push back against like any anti-Asian rhetoric when folks be like, oh, this sport just came out of nowhere. And they're just like, no.
we had to do a lot of like researching because there was, prior to World War II, there were a lot of sumo tournaments in California.
Yeah.
And it's like a hole in the internet. You can't figure out anything about it. We do have a really good historical society, Japanese Historical Society in San Diego, that we've partnered with to make sure that all of our history is corrected.
Yeah,
that is so cool.
They used to bring pros here to do sumo festivals, and then speaking to like the resilience of oppressed people, even in the internment camps. Japanese folks still have sumo tournaments.
They still did it in the camps. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then when they were finally released from being unjustly incarcerated, the police would come to anything that was Japanese and like jam people up, arrest teachers and stuff like that. Yeah. So, it's not lost on JJ and I as Black people who are in deep love with Black people and Asian people and like all of our oppressed and poor loved ones. It's not lost on us still being like, yo, fuck you, oppressor. We gonna come out here. We're going to do sumo. We're going to honor our culture, and we're going to honor those who came before us. So it's a love letter to, our Japanese community worldwide and like, Asian loved ones, right, too. And it's a love letter to little kids who want to do things outside of what they were programmed or assigned to do.
Yeah.
Coming up, I definitely was. It was like, oh, Christina, you can marry a football player. I'm like, bro, what? I said, yo, can I?
I don't think
That's okay, guys. I'm married a judoka. Married a sumo star. And it was only for his fame, y'all. He had me on the first date with a black belt. I thought it was a euphemism, but I learned it was real. So yeah, a love letter to all those things and to those curious kids who turned into like just curious and amazing adults. Like that's what we want, and yeah, that's what we hope so much with our tournament. Like that, folks are just blown away. That interest is sparked.
Oh, that is so badass. I love that.
Well, if people wanted to know more about you guys and what you do and your foundation and even the tournament, where could they find you?
Okay. You can find us on SanDiegoSumo.com. That's San Diego as in the city. Sumo as in the thing that we do. And .com as in the internet. From there, you'll see our whole mission statement in Sumo. Soon the foundation will be added to that. I'm the webmaster, so of course it takes a second. You can also follow us on Instagram, probably the best way to get a hold of us at Honu Sumo. Let's see. And
that's HONU Sumo.
Honu has like the little turtle. And if you wanted to send us an email, probably the second best way outside of DMs is honusumo@gmail.com. And again, if you wanted to just leave a message on the website, SanDiegoSumo.com, that works too. Either which way, it all comes to us, and we'll get back to you usually within 12 hours or so.
And if people wanted to watch your fantastic Why Sumo series featuring Sabrina from Sumo Punx, really full of whiskey, where could they find that?
You will be able to find that on our YouTube channel, Maximum Effort Studios. And there will be a link in the description of this video.
Hell yeah, there will. All right, guys. It's been so great. As always, we're going to go ahead and let you go now, but we can't wait for the SoCal Open. You guys have very happy holidays and take care. We'll talk to you again soon.
Love you guys so much.
You love you too.
Yeah.
And if you want to find us online, you can go to any social media. We are on Facebook. We are on Twitter. We are on Instagram.
We are Sumo Punx, and that's Punx with an X for extra sex.
You can also email us, which is sumopunx@gmail.com.
If you wanted to buy a t-shirt or a fridge magnet or a shower curtain, you can go to our Redbubble store or our TeePublic store.
Yeah, also don't forget to check out our YouTube, where we post all kinds of pro and amateur sumo video content.
And if you're going the YouTube route, make sure you like, you subscribe, you do the bell thing, get all notifications, all videos, whatever, but subscribe.
And if you like this episode, give us a 5-star rating. It helps other people find us and enjoy us as well.
All right, so until next time.
Bye.